Hello, trading has closed on the 22nd of September 2022. Start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, and make some predictions. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, Friday, September 23rd. Please remember I can be completely wrong, and any trade you make should be at your own risk. Well, let's start out with what we said. So I wasn't really anxious to catch the falling knife, but if we could reverse all of the losses, because the futures were down like 30 handles or something when I said this, if we could reverse all of them by tomorrow's open, which wasn't a lock, in spite of my feelings, the elements were there for a decent rally. Well, overnight we were actually up pretty sharply, so we had every opportunity to trigger the pattern I discussed. But by the time regular trading hours came around, this didn't play out. We dropped right from the open. So that never triggered, even though it had a good opportunity to trigger. And usually when you have an opportunity for a reversal like that and you fail, usually you don't fail by just a little bit. Now we called for the pattern with the early high, and tomorrow also has the early high. Well, here's the early high. Tends to be a rally day with a high in the final hour. So that's what we got. But this is a pattern which tends to close at the high of the day. Now it counts isn't today's close, but tomorrow's open. There is a wall, and if we gap up, correction gap either direction and promptly take this high out, I guess the high of the day is here in the morning. But if you can clear them early with a gap in either direction, all is forgiven. It still is a normal bullish pattern. But once again, we had a great chance to get an intraday reversal because we gapped down, hit a lower low. We not only were over all the prior lows, but also all the prior highs, except for the opening one, which I don't always count. So we had a great reversal formation which didn't stick. And even though I have to call it mixed signals because I don't know how I open tomorrow, it looks pretty weak to me. I mean, we open up here, all the weakness goes away. If we gap down and then promptly take this out, all the weakness goes away. But that looks pretty bad to me. Well, here's the daily chart. Here's bar 12 of DeMark's combo buy signal. In effect, we're already at bar 13 because the last three bars don't have to obey all the rules. And we have this bar here. And unless we open very sharply higher tomorrow, if we open around here, anywhere in here, I mean anywhere under this low actually, that's enough to be bar 13. Even under this low, we would clench it, that's bar 13. Now his stuff doesn't always work, and I'm not claiming it'll work here. And although I used to make trades based on it, I don't anymore. But whether it works or not, that's the signal. Well, the wave counts I had as possible counts. Remember, I always say these aren't the only valid counts. They got killed, and whereas I can still count this I can still count this as a fifth wave, which is complete. I really have to fudge to do it. It doesn't break any rules, but my feeling is if it isn't clear and you have to fudge, it probably isn't the right count. So we'll go back to the count we've been using. We have a target around 3706.28. That doesn't mean this has to be the right count. Doesn't mean we have to stop there, but at least if we stop there, we can explain it. We're also pretty close to the last downside target of this year, 37.45.79. Remember, there is support under the target. Doesn't mean it has to hold. So it's possible that as early as tomorrow, we could see our long-standing target, and we could see a bar 13 of DeMarc's combo buy signal with no fudging and no hedging. We already have a huge increase in the amount of mutual funds put into cash, so at least there's an opportunity for tomorrow being a panic low. But it hasn't happened yet, and I'm not certain if it happened, I want to buy it and then take a chance on something unforeseen happening over the weekend. Well, we have to call signals mixed for the reasons we'll discuss. I think it looks pretty bad to me, but rules are rules. If I could guess on these things, I wouldn't have to have rules. Tomorrow's pattern has a really high, we could gap down. I get mixed signals. It's positive, we gap down, hit lower low, close over intraday lows. Either we gap and promptly undercut the lows, or we should see a higher price. Doesn't mean we have to close higher. But it's negative. Today's normally bullish pattern didn't close over intraday highs. Unless we gap and promptly overtake the high of day, should see lower prices even if we don't close lower. Sentiment indicators are compatible to the bottom, but these aren't pinpoint indicators. The DeMarc's combo buy signal is essentially triggered since bar 13 can finish early, but this also identifies the area of a low rather than the exact price of a low. Furthermore, it can also fail. It appears we're going into the low 3700s, and that was our long-standing target. Now, whether or not that price will hold remains to be seen. If we hit my 3706, I'm not convinced I'm going to take it from the long side at this point. I can change my mind. And as always, you gap up smartly, and that kills the call before the open. We have a lot of stuff compatible with a low, but I don't like the fact that we had an opportunity to make a low today, and we didn't. That should lead to lower prices, and whether one more stab lower is enough is, I think it's going to happen, but whether I'm convinced enough to risk money on it from the long side, all I can say is it's possible, but I don't have enough yet. Tomorrow has the early high, and that's today's call.